What is going on, ADA community? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed, and in today's video, if you guys have been paying attention to the value and the price and some of the stories surrounding not only Cardano but the greater crypto space, then you would be well aware of the attack coming against us. Now, what I want to do is briefly touch on the fact that we now have one of the first exchanges, which I'm going to touch on in just a minute, which has officially made the announcement to delist and stop the support of not only Cardano, but also Solana and Matic. So stick around. But before we jump into that, I want to take a look at the recent price action that we've seen for Cardano. So as you guys can see here, we had a local top of about 45 to 46 cents around the time of the middle of April. And since then, if we take a look here, we have had a decline of somewhere of about 35%. So we're kind of back down to where we were, or at the same price levels as we were back in the early beginning of March. Now, this is nothing new for crypto. As you guys are probably more than aware, the prices of crypto fluctuate up and down very greatly. And where we saw Cardano hit an all-time high of about $3 during the peak bull market in the latter half of 2021. So now that we are all the way down back below or right at about 30 cents, let me know what you guys are feeling. Are you guys feeling at ease? Are you guys feeling some of the panic? That said, let's touch on this brief article here, which is going to be surrounding a platform that has recently chosen to delist or to stop supporting Cardano, Matic, and Solana. Now, this struck me here as a huge surprise, given the fact that we don't actually have any hard ruling as to whether or not these tokens are going to be securities. If you guys have somehow missed the huge debate and the huge announcements by the SEC, they're basically alleging that CZ and Binance, as well as Coinbase, are all operating marketplaces or exchanges that are selling unregistered securities, with the SEC allegation naming Cardano and a few other cryptos within the top 10 as unregistered securities. Now, I also did release a recent video which basically broke down IOG's response, which was a bold response stating that they have full confidence in the fact that ADA or Cardano is not a security. Again, the ICO for Cardano was held in Japan, and as a result of the recent library lawsuit, we are well aware that any secondary sales that take place for crypto do not make it deemed or be a security. So knowing what we know now, I'm a little bit, I don't want to say frustrated, but I'm a little bit saddened to see that Robinhood is planning to delist Cardano, Polygon, and Solana. So what I want to do is give you guys my take as to exactly what this means for the greater crypto ecosystem. But before we do that, let's take a look at some of the facts here surrounding the actual delisting, which will be taking place on June 27th. So you guys got a few weeks if you are holding any of your crypto, which again is including Cardano, Solana, and Matic on the Robinhood platform. So Robinhood, or Hood for short in terms of their stock ticker, has decided to delist certain crypto assets from its trading platform after the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, deemed them as unregistered securities. Again, we know that these are not, and the driving arms behind these crypto platforms have done an amazing job of speaking out against the allegations that have just been made by the SEC. Cardano ADA, Polygon Matic, and Solana Sol will be delisted after being named in the SEC's lawsuit filed this week against crypto exchanges Binance and Coinbase. Again, I'm not going to dive into all the details here, but in summary, they are coming after these two exchanges, which are arguably the two largest fiat on-ramps and off-ramps for members not only within the US, but outside of the United States, in the fact that they're claiming that they have sold unregistered securities and that all of their staking as a service also should be deemed as violations of the US securities laws. Scrolling down a little bit further, Robinhood will cease trading of ADA, Matic, and Sol on June 27th, and any customers who have those three crypto assets in their Robinhood accounts at that time of the removal will have them automatically sold on the market. So if you're holding ADA, Matic, or Sol and you don't move it or trade it, or basically sell it for another viable asset that they will be carrying before the 27th of June, your assets will be sold at whatever the market price is in order for them to basically get you out of that position. That said, users are able to simply withdraw their ADA, MATIC, or SOL prior to the delisting if they rather not have the assets sold. Now, obviously, nobody knows the price of crypto. Will it be higher? Will it be lower when the 27th comes? So if you are hesitant and if you are holding any of those three cryptos, I recommend you guys go ahead and move them over to a self-custody wallet if you haven't already done so. I would actually be highly surprised if anybody here within the crypto community still has assets on centralized exchanges, given what we already know about platforms, for example, like FTX and a few others which have had issues with custodialship or custody of users' assets. So now that we understand the facts here, what I want to do is give you guys my take as to exactly what this means for crypto and what this means for Cardano. So the first thing I want to state is that I think that Robinhood folded way too early. So we again have not had a definitive ruling. We've got a positive result from the LBRY case. We also have an ongoing case with Ripple, and the fact that this is just an allegation by the SEC against Coinbase and Binance makes me think that they've just jumped the gun. Again, if this was something that had already come down and was a actual ruling and they had hard evidence, I could understand them delisting these assets. But I believe that all this is doing is just really contributing to a lot of the FUD, a lot of the fear, and a lot of the panic that we're seeing right now in the crypto ecosystem, much more so for the Cardano community. Cardano right now is trading, I believe, at a minus 7% on just the daily, whereas Bitcoin and a lot of these other cryptos that are not listed as a part of this delisting are doing a little bit better. So again, it is really showing here that this delisting is having some sort of impact against the crypto ecosystem. Number two, I think that this is exactly what the SEC was actually looking to get. Again, they haven't actually proven anything, and we already have some exchanges beginning to take action against some of their crypto assets. So this is only, again, proving that a lot of these platforms may not actually want to undergo some of the heat and some of the scrutiny that the SEC is beginning to put upon the entire crypto space, and therefore they're trying to kind of get ahead of things. But what happens if Cardano is not found to be a security? What happens if MATIC and Solana are not found to be securities? Does Robinhood turn right back around and relist them after they've just delisted them? You know, I think these are things that platforms like Robinhood really need to take into account before making these big and vast decisions like we're seeing right now with them choosing to actually delist ADA and a few others. Next, I also want to talk about the fact that Robinhood started off as a stock platform that then came into the crypto space. So the fact that they didn't actually start off as a crypto platform like we saw with Binance and Coinbase, right? You can't buy regular stocks on either of those two platforms. Robinhood, on the other hand, did start off as a platform where you could start off by purchasing stocks, and then from there they kind of transitioned into the world of crypto, once they kind of saw that crypto was getting a lot more adoption and crypto was getting just a bigger name than it was before. So I don't think that they ever had the back of the Cardano or the crypto community as a whole. It was almost kind of like an additional way for them to make revenue. And I believe at one point their biggest holding in terms of crypto assets was Doge. So I think that also kind of speaks to the kind of platform and the kind of community that the Robinhood platform was trying to draw in when it comes to adoption of crypto. Next is that they should have just probably followed the lead by Coinbase and by Binance. Those two platforms have chosen to stick to their guns. They've come out publicly stating that they are going to be more than happy to fight the allegations with all of the power that they have from the SEC. Again, I think that Robinhood should have just kind of sat still, let the two bigger dogs that really actually have the lawsuits against them fight their fight. And then once they've got some kind of ruling or some kind of certainty as to what exactly is going on in regards to what is a security and what is not, then at that point they could make whatever decision they want to make instead of trying to jump the gun and be the first one to start delisting assets. All this is actually going to do is, again, create more fear, create more panic, and it could potentially lead other exchanges, right, that may not be a part of the actual two lawsuits to also begin delisting their assets. So it's one thing to also keep in mind is that this has an effect, right? It influences other exchanges as to what they're going to be doing in the near future. Now, I hope and I wish that that's not the case, but the fact that we've got one exchange now starting to delist an asset, again, I think kind of sets up that narrative for other platforms to also follow suit. Now, the very last thing, and arguably the biggest thing that I want to also state here is that when it comes to ADA, Solana, and Matic, nothing, and I mean nothing, has changed about the tech. If anything, the tech has shown us that it's more needed than ever and that it's getting stronger than ever. Now, I can't speak specifically for Solana or for Matic. I know that they're obviously building in their own rights, but since my channel here focuses specifically on Cardano, I do want to touch on that specifically. And for me, as a Cardano content creator, providing you guys on this particular channel with the latest news tutorials and reviews, I'm able to really see, and I'm able to also closely track all of the developments that have been made since the peak of the bull run, which again took place about a year and a half ago. So in regards to that, we have DeFi finally taking off on Cardano, with a lot of people anticipating a DeFi summer. We just saw Cardano rise over 500 million ADA in a bear market in terms of TVL on the actual network. There's no other networks right now getting as much adoption in terms of TVL as we're seeing with Cardano. So while some of us, or some of the people outside of Cardano, may have been making fun of Cardano, I think Cardano's just been lagging behind, and the true colors of Cardano have yet to actually be seen by the outside community. Obviously, us within Cardano, who keep track of it very closely, understand exactly what it's bringing and the capabilities of Cardano. But to the broader crypto space, I think they're really about to find out exactly what Cardano is made of. So right now is not the time to fold like we're seeing with Robinhood. Right now is the time to wake up. Right now is the time to come together in solidarity against the SEC. On top of the rising DeFi boom that we're seeing, we're also seeing the launch of metaverses. We're seeing the launch of launchpad platforms. We're seeing the launch of different marketplaces and so many different platforms that really allow for the trading and the adoption of Cardano to be done at a much more adoptable, in a much easier fashion than we ever had before. So all of this to say, right now is actually a great time to be bullish on Cardano. Now, I'm not here to give you guys financial advice. I'm still going to be picking up and purchasing Cardano regardless of the price point, given the fact that we are almost at a 85 to 90% discount based off of the all-time high, which we saw about a year and a half ago. And so that said, let me know what you guys think down below. I wanted to briefly touch on this news here. The fact that Robinhood is planning to delist Cardano, Solana, and Matic, which are some of the top coins right now within the crypto space, given the allegations being made by the SEC. Do you agree with this approach? Do you disagree? Let me know what you guys think down below. But I wanted to take a quick minute just to bring you guys the latest news and developments surrounding these ongoing lawsuits. Now, I don't think this is going to be the end. We're going to see a lot more. So if you guys want more content like this, then make sure to go ahead and subscribe and turn on that bell notification in order to get the latest videos as they come out. That said, if you guys found this particular video to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, again, you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for me surrounding Cardano or Robinhood, then make sure to leave those comments down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.